Everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we're going to talk about the Somua SM that is available in the shop for quite an impressive offer featuring 15,000 gold, which is, in my opinion, way too much, and we're going to try to see why. First, let's see why it's not worth it, in my opinion, right now, currently basing ourselves in what's coming into the shop, or at least what we already have in the shop. We have Black Friday right around the corner that will start in probably nearly a week. On top of that, there is the Super Conqueror Rex, and you will have the possibility of getting juicy offers that will probably be better than the Somua. We know for sure that the T54E2 is coming for the Black Friday, and it's gonna be a guaranteed reward. And to be fair, the T54E2 is a way better tank than the Somua. On top of that, the main type of advertising the Somua SM gets is that it's an AMX 5100 armored. What that means is that with this one, you will actually be able to bounce a couple of shots, especially on the upper part of the hull, but also the turret and even the sides, as long as you don't over-angle them. But there is the 8.5 coming, and with it comes some juicy buffs. Here you're taking a look at the new armor profile of the AMX 5100 in the upcoming update. And as you can see, Wargaming decided, I don't know why, to increase drastically the armor of its turret, but on both the upper part and the lower part. The only thing that still remains untouched is the hull. But if Wargaming is advertising the Somua to be the armored AMX 100 and Wargaming in the end, in the 8.5 update, is buffing the armor of the AMX 5100, let's say that the uses for the Somua SM, or at least the things that made it totally different and worth getting, are no longer existing, because beside the armor, both tanks are extremely similar. So if you are already aware of how to play an all down with a 5100, then you don't need a Somua SM in the upcoming update. And if you buy it just for 5 days, because the update should hit in 5 days, well, that's a little bit useless, especially for this price. And talking about the price, this is the first time the Somua SM is coming into the shop as a direct offer, and this is why it's crazy expensive. And to be fair, putting that much money into a tier 8 tank that is not even among the most broken, I don't see the point. Now, if you're still inclined to do this and to get the tank, let's review the statistics. First of all, when it comes to the gun, we have the traditional 3-shot swan that we feature on the AMX 50. We have a great accuracy, as you can see, 0.31. The main problem of the tank being the aim time sitting at 4.9 seconds, which is extremely long, knowing that you have to get this aim time completely focused every single shot, otherwise you will probably miss. The DPM is really low, sitting at only 1.8k, which doesn't make the job in my opinion. 24 seconds of reload for the whole magazine, 3 seconds between shells, so you can burst all your shells in 6 seconds. 3 shells in the magazine, 244 penetration with your regular, 276 with your gold one if you are using the right equipments, and the average damage is 310, so a total of 6 seconds of reload for 930 alpha damage of burst. For the rest, let's say that this tank takes a crazy ass time to be able to get launched in terms of speed, but once you get to your maximum speed, you're good and you are actually really mobile. Just take a look at that, the top speed being 40 kilometers per hour and your average speed being 30. The way or the time it will take you to climb up from 30 to 40 using the right engine provision. Here I'm using oh, nice, it bugged. Come on. Yeah, I was saying I'm using the engine power boost. When you use this, you will reach the 40 kilometers per hour. And it's essential to get this, otherwise you will not be able to get yourself into aggressive positions at the beginning of the game. Now, of course, the main advantage of the Somua is its armor profile. As you can see here, 260 on the turret, 224 millimeters, and 250 on the upper part. So after the update, this part is going to be less armor than the one we have on the AMX 5100. And if you use your 10 degrees of gun depression, it becomes a little bit better, even if people switch to gold shell, they will penetrate you, knowing that you also have that huge cupola right there. So in the end, let's say that the Somua SM is armored without being armored. If nobody is using gold shell, then yes, you are the king of the battlefield and you can push forward while hoping to get a lot of bounces. But if people are switching to gold, well, you're just a big juicy target. Now let's talk a little bit about the playstyle of the tank, because here maybe that a lot of you will disagree with it, or maybe you will think that it's not a tank that is made for you, because the Somua SM is definitely not for new players. It's actually in the 8.4 update, of course. Still a relevant tank if you want to get used to the AMX 5100 without necessarily getting directly into the AMX, because for practical reasons, the AMX 5100 is not the best tank compared to the Somua. But to be fair, you are team dependent because you have an autoloader. You need to make sure that you're never alone, and if you are alone and you are reloading and people push you, it's over. So there we go, we're sneaking our shots on the Panther. As you can see, it goes extremely fast for us to be able to inflict 986 damage on that poor Yag. And now this is the boring part of the replay, and also the boring part about the tank. You have 24 seconds of reload, and this is why you need to stick with the rest of your team, because if you try to push alone, yes, as long as you have 3 shells, you're good to go. But as soon as you're reloading, let's say that things are gonna go a little bit different. Now for the playstyle, you saw one tactic you can get with the tank you can try to use. When I was right around the corner here, you saw that I over-angled my hull to the point that even my weak spot that is located right there became one of the strongest part, because when you over angle here and your enemies can only shoot at this angle, then you will bounce. And this is one of the tactics you want to use. The second one is obviously hull down, because with the Somua SM, as you have 10 degrees of gun depression, it can be good for you to try it out. And we're gonna do it after in the replay, do not worry guys. Here, a little bit of a peekaboo to be able to sneak some shots on the 50 TP without taking the risk of getting shot at. And now we are gonna try to hide. He took a couple of shells, died in the process, and us, we already get 1.6k damage. The main problem and the biggest frustration I encounter while playing the Somua SM is possibly that a lot of people are gonna get killed within 24 seconds. It's not like World of Tanks PC where things are going a little bit slowly. No, here, as the name suggests, Blitz, we go for a fast game, and trust me, every half minute is counting when it comes to dealing damage. So there we go, sticking some HE on the RHM to avenge myself from what happened, bouncing the Emil 1951 as well. And as you can see, he bounced me because he was not able to see my lower part of the hull, which is my weak spot. Which leads me to my third part on the playstyle: always try to hide the weak spot, which is the lower part of the hull. And you're lucky because it's actually really easy to hide it as long as you don't get yourself into the open field or something like that. And here, as it's my case, we are good. So there we go, 2 shots on the T69 and 1 killing the M4U, M5U. I can't recall the name of it. What is it? Yeah, M5U. And now we go back to our peaceful life of reloading with the little turret of the M5U that is lagging. I'm not gonna bother, I'm gonna go straight on the T69 because it seems like the Yak Tiger can handle the situation properly. So there we go, we are reloaded, the T69 is reloading as well, and I'm trying not to jump over the hill because I really want to get back on track after. And it seems like I just hit the perfect line where if I maybe tried to go 1 or 2 meters frontward, I would have fall, but it's not going to happen. So there we go. We are heading back to the rest of the team. We already secured 4 kills. Now it's only a matter of time before we get the Emil 1951. And as you can see in this replay, never was I alone. Never did I try to push forward without any helps in the back. And yes, sometimes you gotta use your mobility like I did with the 50 TP at the beginning of the game. But in the end, you don't need to do that all the time. It can be a good idea for you to make your team move, to make them confident about pushing, because they will think, if you go in, why shouldn't I go with him? But you are not here to tank shots. You are not here to hold the line or things like that, because the Somua will not be able to do it. Here we got lucky, we got ourselves an ace tanker, the Top Gun medal, high caliber, Radley Walters, and we did a couple of credits. I was not using a credit booster, by the way, guys, for those asking, but to be fair, the Somua SM is one of the few tanks at tier 8 that really does a lot of credits, even if I think that some tanks are way better for this, for example the Progetto or the current naval action 10 that we have access to. And this leads me to the last part of this video. Right now you have the possibility of unlocking with the Twister Cup event a token that will get you the Progetto 46, the Centurion rack, or even the current naval action 10. All those 3 tanks are better than the Somua, and Wargaming is giving you the possibility of getting them for free. So do you need a Somua? I think I made myself clear, no you don't. Get it maybe if it comes for 7,000 gold, because it can be a nice experience, but otherwise for 15,000 gold, this is way too much and this is definitely not worth it. So hopefully you enjoyed, guys. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like and share, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.